left. I thought you was gonna do a shot with me. Yo, let's do a shot to you. Gang, we here. I'm live, man. Listen. Tap in, gather around, gang. Gather around. We about to have some fun. Let me know if I'm live. Let me know if you can hear me. What up, world? Your boy Challz Brown back again, talking facts live. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit the notification bell. Keep sending those cash outs to CLBMG. Join the membership, gang. Listen. This is what I want to do tonight, gang. We got a lot to talk about because what happened last night? About last night. Salute Holly B in the building. About last night. I don't know who watched my video last night that I posted. It was called Keep That Same Energy. It was called Keep That Same Energy in regards to J. Cole and Camron. Gang, listen, it was a shit show because what happened was, I don't know if y'all know who I am, but I am part of this culture, gang, and this is what I do. I've been telling you guys for at least a year and a half, but if you've been watching longer than that, I've been doing this for about, I want to say, on this particular channel, probably about 3 years, right? And I have never, ever once let you guys not know who I am, all right? I am 100% for and by the culture. And by that same token, I do things that may feel or seem or sound outdated, but I live by a code, gang. I live by a code, and this for hip hop, win, lose, or draw. Now, what had happened was last night, my video called Keep That Same Energy. I got a lot to talk about, gang. We're going to be here for a while. Get you some snacks. Get you some spicy hot Cheetos. Listen, I'm going to be here for a little. Now, fellas, I'm not going to cut into your football time, right? I know you guys going to watch football. I know it's a game coming on. I'm not going to cut into that. But I do want to have a conversation. I want to speak up for myself because every now and then I'll do a take. And I mean, it's very rare, right? I'm usually lock and step with what the culture feeling. But every now and then, like I'm going to be honest, I never made a bad take. Let's just be honest. But the take that I remember where it got people so worked up, and I still haven't achieved this level of hate, was when I did an episode a few years ago. It had to be 3 years ago, when I said DMX did not die of COVID, right? Oh my God, the backlash. It was insane. It was unsubscribes and all kinds of madness. I have not reached that level of anger in a very long time. I've come close, right? I've come close. I think I did maybe what kind of I did a take about, when I said Joey Badass won that battle. Oh my God, gang, listen. When I said Joey Badass won that battle, yeah, that was you guys got a little upset. I'm just gonna be honest, but this one right here last night. And I had a couple that got you guys in a little tizzy, right? But last night, right? I dropped that video about J. Cole being sued by Camron. And I know what the consensus is in the culture, right? I know what the consensus is in the culture. Gang, I could easily pander to you guys and crash out on J. Cole. That's easy money, gang. That's easy money. I can just sit here and go for 45 minutes crashing out on how lame J. Cole is. And what J. Cole did, gang, is, let's just be clear, it's not ideal. It's pretty lame to not return a verse, gang. All right. So let's just start there. I said I'm gonna be here for a while. Now, what I did was like somebody said in my comments, I said the quiet part out loud, right? I said that Camron was lame for suing because we don't sue in hip hop. I just spent an entire year telling you that Drake was lame for suing. What I look like getting on here last night and saying that Camron should be suing in hip hop, right? And I'm just going to be honest, the comments, and I'm going to read some of these angry comments. I got the comments lined up. We're going to be here. I got the comments lined up, and I want to, I went in the comments. I literally responded to every comment. I don't think I missed one, but I want to read them because dudes was like, don't shut off your comments, right? They were like, you're going to get chewed up by your constituents and don't shut off the comments, right? Gang, you don't understand. I'm like, imagine I wasn't built for this. Like, imagine, how can I do this if I'm not built for this, right? Just imagine this. If I got to cut off my comments, I might as well delete the whole video. Okay? So what I'm saying is this. I did not delete the video. I'm standing, I didn't even promote the video. I didn't even have time to promote the video. I haven't pushed it nowhere because I was so busy responding to the comments, right? And we're going to have a conversation. I want to let y'all know what's going on. What's happening is I said that Camron is lame for suing. J. Cole is wrong, gang. Don't get it twisted. J. Cole is wrong. What he doing is some really weird, wacky shit. We're going to get into that, how J. Cole didn't return the verse. This, that, and the third, right? But end of the day, my whole stance is we don't sue in the culture for you not getting your verse. I'm just gonna be honest. Now, what I mean by that is in the culture, and everybody's like, oh, it's business, da da da. And I get it, it's business, this, that, and the third. But what I do want to say about that is Cole is dead ass wrong. Right? But in the game, when we take things to court, that's a different animal. And I feel like we clown Drake, and I'm going to read all the comments that people had this and that third. We clown Drake for a year because he took it to court. Now, I know a lot of people are like, bro, it's different. You don't know the nuances. Camron got a business disagreement, and he so let me just start here. Salute Yellow Girl in the building. I understand that Camron was reneged on in the business agreement. There's more to the story, right? And I got to say this 100 times. I am not defending J. Cole by no stretch of the imagination. I'm going to get into how lame this is, what Cole did. But my response is, in the culture, we don't sue because you didn't turn in your verse. I'm going to simplify it to that. I don't know what else to tell you. We don't sue because you didn't get the verse back in time. Right? I'm just going to be honest with you. There are a lot of guys was like, this is a dumb take. I can't believe you said this. I even got, believe it or not, 3 unsubscribed, right? So like, listen, somebody watched that video and decided that my take was a little too much to stay subscribed to me. So 3 unsubscribed, right? It is what it is, right? So what I want to do, and I see you, J-Hope, I see you say, so you want Killer to crash out? This is what I'm saying. There it is already. Killer said, grow up. Let me highlight that. Because I got a lot of comments. In my thing, and I responded to every single one. J-Hova, let me start with that one right there. No, I don't want him to crash out. But in hip-hop, there are a lot of people who don't get their verse back. I don't know what part of the game we're missing. Everybody is making Camron some kind of martyr, right? Everybody's coming to Camron defense, but we already know J. Cole is public enemy number 1, right? Public enemy number 1. Quality in the building. Salute Quality. I appreciate you, gang. Super chats. Damn, I thought it was Halloween. I didn't know it was Christmas. Everybody live. People getting finessed every day, B. Now the gangsters is suing. I love it. Quality. Listen, Quality, and he's locked in with what's going on. Salute Quality in the building. I appreciate you, fam. But what's going on is, I'm going to simplify this because a lot of people are making this thing way bigger than it is. They're making it like, yo, Cam got finessed on a business deal and it was an agreement, it's a handshake, right? Now, the simple fact of the matter is, gang, I told you I could sit here and just blow smoke up your ass and just diss J. Cole for a good hour and a half. I'm going to be honest with you. I can just diss J. Cole with no regard and have nothing good to say Cole, but I respect this culture too much. Lay it at Camron's feet like he just did something really good. And I know the comments is going crazy, but at the end of the day, I'm looking at it like this. Cam, I'm going to say some real shit tonight. Cam ain't really never been for the culture like that. Let's just, if we're going to strip this shit down, right? Camron does stuff, everything that Camron does, 50, a lot of guys, they money motivated, and that's fine. He's never come off as, let me do this shit for the culture. Even with the verse with Cole, he swapped verses. You give me a verse, I give you a verse. Or when he wasn't getting a verse in time, he said, come on the podcast. First of all, let's just say this, and this might be a little harsh, but a J. Cole verse is going to get 10 times return than a Camron verse. Let's start there. All right, let's just say that. Let's start there. Not to mention that if he don't get the verse, what he saw was the thing was taking too long. So he was like, yo, let me get you on the podcast. You know how crazy them, that's years of content. That's millions of dollars. If J. Cole come on that podcast and they can sit him down and ask him anything and he answers, you're talking millions of dollars, gang. Sponsors. It's ridiculous what Camron was trying to finesse. Let's just be honest. A lot of you guys are making Camron to some kind of saint. He was trying to finesse this guy. Now, they were doing a trade. Okay, I get it. And like I said, I'm going to have to reiterate because y'all not going to understand. I'm not defending J. Cole. I'm going to have to say that 100 times because people going to get in the comments and they're going to say, but J. Cole is a snake. J. Cole is a fake. That's not what we're talking about. That's not what we talk. We're going to get to all that J. Cole is this, J. Cole is that, right? Jay-Z did this, Jay-Z did that, Jay-Z so crap. We're going to get to all that. But let's stay focused. Let's stay focused. Camron don't really do things for the culture. Everything Camron does is money motivated. He tells you that. Everybody knows that. So when he did the exchange of verses, it was for a return on the verse. And a lot of people gonna say, that's right, Challz is business. What you want him to do? Crash out? You want him to da-da-da? No, it's not about crashing out. But first things first, if you asked him to swap verses, which it sound like in the beginning, he just was going to do Cole's verse for whatever. And then they was like, well, let's swap verses, right? Cole wanted them on that record, the Dipset-ish record, the replayed Dipset record, and he obliged and was like, okay, throw me back a verse. It sounds like if you read the documents and you know who you're talking about, I know that I'm dealing with Camron. So what happened, in my opinion, I feel like Camron was like, gang, listen, I'll throw this verse to you and you throw me back a verse. And Cole was like, okay, bet, right? Think enough of it, da-da-da, like whatever, I got you, da-da-da. Dudes is polite. Dudes say, have my guys call your guys. This Hollywood shit, right? I'm not saying it's right, wrong, or indifferent, but I'm just telling you what it is. So after Camron did the verse, which is a good look for Camron, let's just be honest. We acting like Camron getting burnt or some shit, right? He's on a fucking album that's going to do way more numbers than whatever he put out. Let's just be honest. All right? So he's on J. Cole album with people checking for him or not. He's on J. Cole's album, right? The thing did numbers. He's saying that he owes him $500,000. Let's start there, right? So it's a good look for Cam in the first place. Cam did it with no contract. He did it with no expectations of payment. He said, you give me a verse back when you get a chance. That was the stipulations. Years went by. I want to say 2 years. The song is old, gang. They did the song a long time ago, so the song is old. But Camron was like, okay, we'll bet. He's waiting for his verse, trying to pin J. Cole down, da-da-da-da, because he know this verse is gold. But Camron himself just said, I don't do music no more because there's no money in it. He literally just said he's not rocking. He can't make a living off music. He can't make a living off shows. He said, I can't. The money he's making on the podcast eclipses anything he would make with music. So we right here, we already at an impasse where we're looking at a guy that's basically saying music don't mean shit to me, really. So then, first of all, why are you suing for the verse? Right? Like I'm gonna say the shit a lot of them motherfuckers ain't gonna say. Like a lot of people is really, listen, this YouTube joint feeding a lot of people's families. I understand that. That's fine. It's feeding my family. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna just say shit just so it sound good, right? Camron said himself, the music don't matter. He wouldn't have sued for this if he would have got his verse back. So you can't say, people in my comments, he owes him money. How's he owing money? He gave him a verse and said, give me a verse back. There's no time limit on the verse. J. Cole allegedly said, I want to do an organic track. I want to do something that we both work on together, right? Now, how long do you have a time to do an organic track? And I know Camron said, well, he's ducking me. He's not taking my calls. I can't get him on the phone, yada, yada, yada. I understand all that. It's called chalk it up to the game. It's called charge it to the game. There's a lot of people chasing people around, right? We saw Khaled for years waiting on Drake's verse, chasing the verse around, right? He usually got it, or he would wait for the verse. He's chasing Ho's verse. You got to chase these dudes down. Now, what we're seeing is a lot of guys. I'm just going to be honest, guys. I'm going to try to be as kid gloves as I can when I'm dealing with you guys and dealing with everybody that's in the comments. Listen, this is like what Michael Jackson say, with love, right? I'm saying this stuff with love. A lot of you guys are triggered because it's J. Cole. I'm going to say this again. A lot of you guys are triggered because it's J. Cole and you don't like him already because he came at K. Dot. Now let me ask you a question, and I want you to be really, really real in these comments when you start talking. I need y'all to understand what y'all dealing with. I really don't care, gang. Like I really have to keep shit 100% buck. 100% buck. If you saw a headline that says Camron sues Kendrick for a verse that Kendrick never sent, 100% you would be like, Camron is lame for that. Let's just be fucking honest. A lot of you guys jumped because it was Cole and said, yo, he gotta pay him his business, da. If there was a lawsuit on Kendrick right now from you never gave me the verse, I guarantee half the people that's saying that Camron should sue him would be trying to figure out a way to wiggle it out so that Kendrick is not wrong. I'm just going to be honest. So me, I don't bend. I don't change the way I think. I do not change the way I believe because of the person in front of me. Right? To me, you don't sue for hip hop verses. If you didn't get if you swap verses and he take it too long to get the verse, oh well, you don't go draw paperwork. Now we know who Camron is. Camron is a hustler. He's a dude from Harlem. He's all about his money. Well, guess what? That's why the culture's all fucked up now, because everybody just doing shit for the money. That's why the shit's going down. People don't want to hear it. That's why no records are on the top 10, right? No records are on the charts right now from hip hop, because we done got so gravitated to making everything about the money. Cam and J. Cole don't even sound right on the song together. It don't even make no sense to me. Let's just be honest. Most of the features J. Cole been doing don't make no sense because they're not really of the culture. What's Grippy? What's that about? I don't understand why you even did that. Right? So you got to understand what you're dealing with. When I say the culture, I'm talking about I'm the culture gang. I'm shell toe Adidas, my G. I'm gold chains, gang. I'm from the 80s, gang. I'm Biz Marquee. I'm Fab Five Freddy. I'm Grandmaster Flash. All that. I'm Flash. LL Cool J is different, and I know times have changed, gang. But the culture still has a code, and I promise you, Kanye West, there's a lot of people that promise somebody a verse for a verse, and the verse never came, and nobody got sued. But a lot of people are putting their sensibilities on 2 millionaire rappers. Right? These are 2 millionaire rappers. Let's be clear. Camron don't need that 500K. And if this was really a serious lawsuit, it would be 300. It would be 2, 3 million, 5 million. It would be a real problem. This is a publicity stunt, plain and simple. You guys don't understand what's going on. Camron is using this for content and engagement. A $500,000 lawsuit to a man that got millions. It don't make no sense. J. Cole could write a check for that right now. It don't make no sense. But a lot of people, they put their own lifestyle on 2 millionaires. These guys deal with a different kind of money, gang. They could put, I said this last night, they can put 500,000 in a knapsack, lose the knapsack, and be like, oh damn, I don't know where the knapsack at, and they'll be fine, gang. So it's not an amount, it's not worth it for Camron to sue for that. He's already getting publishing checks. He's allegedly, because he's on the publishing. This is a publicity stunt, gang. Just like when Dame Dash sued Camron for $300 million. He never filed the paperwork. The paperwork wasn't even on official lawyer letterhead. What we talking about? It's not a real lawsuit. Now, Camron's is more so, this is for show, it's to be petty, and it's to say, you're not going to play games with me. But guess what? In the culture, people don't always turn their verses in on time, and I get it. You're going to say, Challz, it's been 4 years. Well, how long you want? Like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not telling you J. Cole is right or wrong. I'm telling you, when we decide to exchange verses, and I take too long with my verse, I shouldn't expect a lawsuit in the mail. It's not the culture. I don't care what nobody says. You're not going to have me sit here and be like, well, Camron is right. He should sue for his bread. No. You're like, should he crash out? Why would he crash out? It's just a verse. Okay, so let's keep this a buck. If we're gonna have this conversation, we're gonna have a real conversation. What is that? I know you're gonna say, well, you gotta chase your paper, right? But at the end of the day, if Camron was really hip hop, he would already know. I can't go into no court. First of all, Camron from the streets. He from Harlem, and I get it. He wears nice, really luxury clothes. He smell good, look good, got his teeth fixed and all that. He look amazing. The show's great. Him and Mace do a really good job. But at the core, they still got Harlem sensibilities. How many niggas in Harlem is walking into a courthouse to sue another nigga because he didn't do something? And I get you're going to say, Challz, he's a grown man. He's a brand now. And a third, yada, yada, yada. All that sound good, but Camron supposed to be from Harlem. And I guarantee you, whatever verse he write that he going to jump on with J. Cole, it's going to say some Harlem shit. Am I lying? Let me know when I start lying. I want y'all to flame me in the comments. Let me know when I'm lying, gang. So whatever he write on that paper for that verse that he want that dope ass record from J. Cole that's worth $500,000, whatever the fuck you talking about. I want to know what Camron gonna write some slick ass Harlem shit, right? Let me know when I start bugging out. And all that Harlem shit come with a code, right? And the code don't say nothing about if a dude don't get you the verse back fast enough, you got to take him to court. This is unprecedented. Rappers don't do this. I've never heard of no rapper taking nobody to court because the verse didn't come in time. Right? And I know, and I said I can sit here and be really, really easy. I can sit here and just crash out on J. Cole for 2 hours. That chat will be lit up something crazy. I'm not that guy, gang. I speak for the culture. I don't follow shit for money. I don't listen to records because they sold a lot. I don't listen to music because it sounds like it's all about money. That's not what I do. I listen to a lot of really good hip hop from a lot of really good artists, and I know what you guys are thinking, gang. What I'm saying is, you guys are still thirsty in the building. A lot of you guys are thinking, okay, Challz, that sound good, but hip hop is about business, and Camron can't take a loss. I saw a lot of people in my comments last night. They're like, yo, Camron can't take a loss because he was promised goods and services and he never received them. Okay. He was not promised money. And let's go even deeper. We don't know what the context. This is Camron's version. Right? This is Camron's version. Camron put a lawsuit together saying J. Cole agreed. Now, I know a lot of time I'm going to shake a dude's hand and be like, yeah, we can do it, da-da-da. That's not, listen, I don't know if that's a binding contract. And a lot of you people saying, well, he need to get paid, da-da-da. Well, if it was all about money, Camron, where's the contract? There ain't no way around it. If you're doing verses and expecting this in exchange, it should be a contract. So you know why there's no contract? Because they did it on some hip-hop shit. And if you're going to do it on some hip hop shit, then you got to follow hip hop rules. There's no contract because they're like, yo, B, on some real shit, da-da-da. It's called looking out, right? You're good looking out, right? Right? Hold me down, da-da-da. On the strength. Like back in the 80s, they should say some shit called on the strength. Let's do it on the strength. That's all hip hop shit. So if they doing it on the strength, right? You're doing it not expecting no money. You're expecting another lookout when the lookout comes. The lookout don't have no date on it, right? And I get it, Camron tired of waiting. He getting ghosted, allegedly, according to Camron. He's ghosting this, that, and the third. Now, you know how many times we hear stories and the motherfucker be like, I just saw this nigga at the All-Star game. This is all Camron's side, gang. So all of you in the comments telling me what's right, what's wrong. Somebody said, Challz, you lying, this, that, third. This all Camron's side of the story. Okay? If I make a lawsuit against anybody, my side gonna sound locked. It's gonna sound real tight. It's going to sound like, yo, Challz, you dead ass right. Now, when I'm reading between the lines, I'm looking at it like this. Let me see this comment. No contract. I would have given Camron a scoopity poop verse and tell him to enjoy his holidays. I'm going to get to the comments. I see the comments. Salute. I see the comments. If Camron had a contract, that would be, we wouldn't even have the lawsuit because he just would have the contract. He would just go with that. There's a million ways Camron could handle this. Camron literally could have just put a cease and desist on the song. If it's about the song, this not about the song. If he would have put a cease and desist on Ready 24, I have nothing to say. And you guys in the comments, you would have nothing to say. The people in the comments that's trying to probably flame me and say this, that, and the third, their argument is, well, Camron did a verse and didn't get paid. Guess what, gang? Camron could just put a cease and desist on Ready 24 and the game is over. So your argument has no weight. He's not suing for that. He's suing because he didn't get the verse or the interview from J. Cole, who ain't going to talk about the battle with you and Mace up there eating popcorn laughing. He's not coming there. Right? What nobody's really talking about is J. Cole might be feeling Cam's energy. He might be like, I'm not going there or to your studio. We're not doing nothing. But he playing games with him, which I'm going to admittedly is trash. Don't get it wrong. I'm not defending J. Cole. I'm just giving you all the scenarios. Get some water. There's a lot of comments going on. I'm gonna get to all that. But my whole thing is this, right? If we're gonna demonize J. Cole, that's fine. But I'm not going to let y'all move the goalposts of hip hop and start saying that, yo, I can sue you because you ain't send me your verse. That's all I'm saying. And I don't care what y'all write in the comments. You ain't going to change that. He's suing because he never got his verse. Some of these people take 5 years to get a verse. A verse from Cole or Kendrick. Now, you're going to say, well, Cole throwing verses all over the place. That don't matter now. If he throw me a grippy verse, you can keep that shit. Right? I'm going to assume Camron going to want a real serious verse. So if you're going to come and throw me, it's grippy. Like, if you're going to throw me a grippy verse, Cole, I'm going to wait 2 more years then, gang. And you got to think about what has transpired since they exchanged these verses. Right? He did what the song that Camron did for J. Cole was they did it in 2022. The song was already 2 years old before J. Cole even put it on Might Delete Later. So he put the song out on Might Delete Later, right? And then he got into one of the most horrific transactions ever. He made a diss record to one of the greatest rappers in history, and then he deleted it and apologized at Dreamville Fest and got eviscerated by people like me and you for being lame. He said himself, it was one of the lamest things I've ever done in my life, right? So with that being said, J. Cole went through some shit. J. Cole went through some shit. And maybe J. Cole ain't feeling a way about these verses. Maybe that grippy verse is 2 years old. We don't know how old these things are. J. Cole, live my people, my comments. J. Cole has been on 3 podcasts, right? He been on, what was he with? Bob Myers. He did his own podcast of explaining his life. I don't think he talked about too much about the battle and that. And he did something else. Some innocuous, some little regular random shit, right? Now, end of the day, like I said, I'm not here to defend J. Cole. I talk about hip hop. I defend the culture, gang. So you're never going to hear me taking sides of rappers and changing the rules of the culture. There's probably 1,175,000 times where somebody since the 80s, the 70s was like, I got you on the verse and didn't do the verse. I think that Camron got this idea that he could sue from this Drake shit. We ain't never heard no rappers suing nobody. Second of all, you sue for money. Okay, I get that. The label, the Lil Wayne, the Birdman owes them. Yeah, sue you. Do your thing, Wayne. That is a business relationship that accrued over years. You carried that label on your back, Wayne. Yeah, sue him. Sue Birdman and everybody else involved, right? But this is not that. This is a favor for a favor. This is a fake. And I'll do you one better. For one, I just told you that Camron is using this as content. He's like, I'm going to get my content one way or another. I would not be surprised at 50, because you know he's arm in arm with 50 right now. I would not be surprised if 50 gave him this idea. Because first of all publicity is good publicity to these guys. So I would not be surprised if 50 was like, gang, listen, ain't 50 the one that cooked up the thing with what's the dude, the dude that sing the African music? He was on Power, right? He got 50 Cent signed him. The dude, he sing either what's it, Haitian music or African music, one or the other. Bro from Power. Somebody in the comments tell me what bro is. He played Power, right? 50 cooked up. He said, listen, you owe me some money. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and say that I'm looking for you and you owe me money and I'm going to hurt you. That's going to send everybody to figure out who you are. They're going to go play the music. And when they play the music, there it is. Salute the Dorothy in the building. Rotimi, right? He cooked up a scam with Rotimi to say, I'm going to hurt Rotimi when I see him. When that happens, everybody's going to say, who the hell is Rotimi? And then they all going to run and play the song. That way, when the song blow up, I get my money back. And the song blew up and 50 got his money back. Negative publicity got 50 a lot of spares. Didn't Jim Jones just tell you, I move the needle when I talk shit about Nas? Didn't Jim Jones just say that? He do it every year. Once a year, Jim Jones does it and the streams goes up. What's happening right now? This lawsuit is playing with your emotions, gang. This dude Camron is toying with you. You don't sue a man for $500K. That's a multi-millionaire. Don't make no sense when you're already getting paid for publishing. It don't make no sense, gang. You got to understand what's going on. So no, I'm not going to sit here and be like, he should sue him. I'm not feeding into it. I'm not going to do that. And people all in my, I told you I got 3 unsubscribes, right? I got 3 unsubscribes last night, right? I just wanted to know. I wanted to know what happened, right? I got like 30. So let me just say, so 36 thumbs down. That's a lot of thumbs down, okay? Even if it's 10,000 views, you're not going to get more than 10 thumbs down. You know what I'm saying? If they really mad, it's 15, right? 36, 40 thumbs down. That means they was really mad. They went in their phone and they hit thumbs down. So I'm like, oh, these motherfuckers mad. Okay. Well, let's talk about it then. Let's talk about it. If this is so cool with the culture, end of the day, if the culture is not all about business. You're gonna say, Charles, people deserve to get work for, they deserve to get paid for their labor. They deserve to get, if I give you goods and services and you should respond in kind. Or I should have the option to sue. He does have the option to sue. Just because you can don't mean you should. Drake has the option to sue too. And I don't know if y'all know, but Camron got UMG in that lawsuit. I don't know if y'all know that part, right? So y'all running and doing handstands and telling me that Camron is in the right. Let me know how. Because at the end of the day, unbeknownst to you guys, this Camron stuff is not cool. I don't know. I've never heard LL Cool J suing another rapper. Yo, the verse didn't come, gang. What's going on? In hip hop, you either battle over that verse or you clown him over the verse or you see him when you see him and you blow his phone up. It ain't got to be no fight. But at the end of the day, they was personal, right? People like they wasn't really friends like that. They was cool enough for you to say, you throw me a verse and I'll throw you one. They was cool enough for that. So I think they had a really good working relationship. Let me see what's going on. What Toyto is saying. If Cam going to sue over a verse, a whole lot of rappers and aspiring rappers headed down to the courthouse watch. The Aubrey effect. That's what it is. we're getting into a place where you guys are desensitized. You guys are starting to make reasons where you can sue. First of all, the Drake fans already did that. when it happened last year, we was laughing. You know that light-skinned dude going to sue. I told you about the barbershops. They was like, yo, that battle was cold as shit. But you know that light-skinned dude going to sue. What you mean, Drake going to sue? Yeah, you know the Bama going to sue. People thought it was a joke. And next thing you know, the petition came out in 2 different states, and then the actual lawsuit followed after. And you had dudes doing handstands and backflips trying to say why it was okay. Well, if someone calls you a pedophile, shut up. This hip-hop. You battled, my G. He can call you anything you want. Y'all sounded real goofy all last year trying to defend that. The ones that defended it, whether they liked Drake or didn't, the people defending that sounded crazy to me and to most of hip-hop. And you guys clown Drake for a year straight. Now, at the end of the day, we got Camron following suit. We just saw Drake's lawsuit get dismissed, and Camron followed suit. You got to ask yourself why. The odds of him winning this, let's be honest, is almost next to nothing. Because for one, he can't prove that J. Cole agreed to it. For one. A lot of rappers stole rappers' verses without asking for payment. Kendrick Lamar, you can't pay him. Jay-Z, you can't pay him. They either do it or they don't, and they don't expect payment. All them Pusha T verses, all them Pusha T songs where you see Jay-Z on there was no payment exchange because he don't accept payment. He only do it because he rock with you. And that's how most of these rich guys do it. So at the end of the day, when these guys are rich with all this money, these verses, they're using them as okay, you do one for me, da-da-da. Now, in essence, what Camron is telling you and me that he took too long. And I see this comment. Hold on. Let me see this right here. Stop equivocating. I don't know if that's for me, Jay Stunt, or somebody in the comments. But I don't know what you mean by stop equivocating, because we have to equivocate. We have to make examples of both. And I know people they were telling me, I'm gonna read some of my comments from the other video. I'm gonna read that later. But they were telling me, Challz, you know it's not the same. You're being disingenuous. Drake sued because his feelings were hurt. He lost a rap battle, and you know that's the reason, Challz. Come on. Be honest. Okay. So if I go and slap somebody at the 7-Eleven because they grabbed a Snickers before me, and then I go and slap somebody at the Safeway because they try to push a cart in front of me, it's 2 different things. The end result is I slapped them. Right? Now, I know things ain't that simple or that black and white, but Camron is not suing for the payment. You guys got to understand. He's suing. He wants the money from the verse that he did on Ready 24. He wants it retroactive. But in my opinion, you didn't give him that verse for monetary gain. You gave him that verse to return you a verse. So you can't come back 3 years, 4 years later and just slap an amount on the verse that you think is worth all of a sudden. Because we did the buddy handshake. When you get a verse, when I give you a verse, and vice versa. J. Cole said, I want to do something organic. Right? And I'm gonna keep reiterating because somebody in the comments is not going to hear me. J. Cole, I'm not here to defend J. Cole. J. Cole is wrong for this. J. Cole needs to be honest and just say, bro, I don't want to do the verse, or whatever the reason is. I understand. So I'm not here to defend J. Cole. And a lot of you people comments, a lot of the comments, if I go and read every comment that's pro Camron, all of them comments going to be telling me how J. Cole is a snake and how J. Cole messed up and how J. Cole didn't do his part. And J. Cole, Coley, right? TJ, I see you in the building. Salute, TJ. But if you pay attention to what I'm telling you, my argument has nothing to do with J. Cole. And that's the part, while you're writing this, you're not understanding. This could be anybody. Anybody. That's the part you're not understanding. All right? This could be Mos Def versus Drake. And I would say Mos Def is wrong. Point blank, period. I don't bend, I don't change for hip hop. I don't change it, gang. It could be anybody. All right. I see you, Zero. He said it's lagging. Hopefully y'all can still hear me. I do not change, gang. I'm hip hop. I told you I was 13 years old with the Adidas sweatsuit and some shell toe Adidas, gang. With my bird chest out with no shirt under the jacket. I can't go back to that guy and tell him, yo, listen, B, it's different in 2025. You can sue niggas for anything now. He gonna be like, word, what happened? What went wrong? Like, what did we do wrong? It's 1980, like 385. What? How do we mess this up? And like, what do we do? I must be like, Lil Challz, listen, gang. I know you mean well, but it's a thing called social media, and it changed things, gang. It's all about money now, gang. It's all about business, and they don't care about the rules of this shit. What you mean? He gonna be like, yo, tell me what happened. I'm gonna say, all right, it was this guy named Camron. He gonna be on a few years. You know who he is. His name Camron, and all through the 90s, all through the 2000s. Dude was cold. Like, they could live by the streets and all that. Listen, this nigga was cold and shit. Word, what he do? Like, what? He'd be like, yo, tell you gotta tell what happened with Camron. So I sound like I would like him, right? Like, you will like him. You will like him. He makes some cool basketball. So he got, like, listen, he could have went pro, my nigga. So like, he gonna be like, so then what happened with Camron? What did he do? I'm gonna say, well, he didn't really do nothing wrong, right? But he elevated himself. He became a businessman, a really good businessman. He developed this really cool podcast with his friend Mace. Who's Mace? Well, Mace was his boy. They had some really big records in the 90s. They fell out. They got back together. Mace dissed them. Really was so they made up, and then they made a podcast together. Yeah, they made a podcast. Really cool. It's called It Is What It Is. They wear suits. They talk about sports and shit. So what happened? So why is he suing? I'm be like, okay, Lil Challz, calm down. I got to explain this to you. So, okay, Lil Challz, so listen. So what had happened was, there's a guy named J. Cole, another cool, really cool rapper. He kind of flaky, he do kind of weird shit, but he cool. People like him. And he kind of rises to the top. He comes in this thing called the Big Three. He becomes Really, it's a Big Three. It's only 3 rappers. Slow down, Challz. It's slow down. It's not just 3 rappers. So what's the Big Three? Well, the Big Three is these three guys that they kind of like, you know. Everybody started labeling the Big Three because they were like making a lot of money. Oh yeah, money matters. Yeah, money really matters. So all right. So end of the day, J. Cole was floating around doing a bunch of verses, trying to prove that he's the king of features, is down the third. Okay, sounds good. So now what? I'm saying, okay, so then J. Cole started hanging out with Camron. Camron said, listen, Cole, give me a verse, and I'm going to give you a verse. So what's wrong with that? Well, what happened? Let me slow you down a little, Charles. So what happened right before that, right in the midst of that, there was another guy named Drake. His name Aubrey Graham from Canada. Canada? Maestro Fresh West? Yeah, up there with Maestro Fresh West. He's from Canada. So basically, what happened was Drake went and made a lawsuit. He sued another rapper. What did he sue? Well, the rapper dissed him in a battle. He dissed him for a battle? What you mean, gang? Like a battle? You mean it was a literal battle? Yes, it was a battle. And he dissed them, and he called them some really mean things. They called each other really mean things. But one of the guys lost the battle really badly, so he went and dissed his record label. Dissed his record label? What a rapper dissed his record? Yes, Challz, you got to just stay focused. He dissed his record label, but he didn't diss the rapper that dissed him directly. He was like, big homie, this is kind of weird. I know it's weird, but he dissed the record label. He didn't diss the guy that he sued the record label. He didn't sue the guy that dissed him, but it's kind of convoluted. But at the end of the day, hip hop was split, and people started saying he had the right to sue this guy, and the other guy was saying you don't. Most of us saying didn't have the right. So that kind of split off hip hop, and now we at a place. It's a weird space where we can sue people now. He be like, yo, big homie, that's a lot. Yeah, it sounds like hip hop kind of messed up. Yeah, it's like it's all over the place, gang. Like we getting some good music, but yeah, it's all hip hop is a wild, wild west. It's all about business, gang. So he's like, yo, listen. So end of the day, it's different. So Camron is suing J. Cole because they exchanged verses and J. Cole didn't turn in the verse. So Camron thinks he owes him, so now he sued him. He's gonna be like, homie, I didn't know rappers could go to court because of verses. This is weird, and I might not like it. I'm gonna be like, no, you'll be fine. Like, don't worry, this ain't that serious. It's just some weird shit we got to get through in 2025. Don't worry, it's gonna pass over. It's only gonna be in the news for about a couple weeks, and we'll move on. It's some really good music came out. There's a group called The Clips. You're gonna like them. It's some nice shit came out. You know what I'm saying? It's some good stuff. So just hold on, little homie. It'll be fine. It's gonna have some dark area ages, and then it's gonna get really goofy, but it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. So where we are now, that somehow, some way, the people think that this guy can actually sue another rapper over a verse. I'm never ever going to agree with that. I'm never ever going to fold and bend and say, yo, he's suing over a verse. This ain't got nothing to do with J. Cole. This ain't got nothing to do with he owes him money. None of that. Sue for the money then. You're suing for a verse. Right? There wouldn't be this. My whole thing is, if you're going to say Ready 24, I deserve monetary gain, then you should have had a contract before you did the verse. And allegedly, he told J. Cole, you can't put out the song, and this is where the sticking point, this is where it gets sticky. He told J. Cole, you can't put out the song, you give me the verse. Now, J. Cole, I'm going to say it again, he's foul for doing that. He put the song out without Camron's consent, allegedly, right? I told you this is all according to Camron. But at the end of the day, the song came out. Camron was like, cool. If I didn't get the verse, just give me a get on my podcast. The podcast only been around 2 years. The verse is older than the podcast. So Camron been waiting for a while. And again, J. Cole is foul for that. But at the end of the day, apparently J. Cole ain't moving on the song like you want. He's not trying to do the song. He's not being organic. He's not trying to get in bed with you and get into that studio and make that record for this, that, or the third. He cannot like your energy. J. Cole is big on the energy. He cannot like the studio surroundings. It can be anything. And I know they got 2 different sessions. They've already worked in the studio together. After that battle and after all that stuff going on with Kendrick and Drake, this, that, and the third, J. Cole probably not in a good space to even make no verses for nobody. And you're going to say, well, he did Grippy. Well, like I said, I don't know how old Grippy is. And Grippy is really, really childish and silly. So you have no expectations on a Grippy, right? There is no expectations on a song like that. So he just mailed the verse, did a dumbass verse, and gave it to whoever. I don't even know who made the damn song. Song is trash, right? But end of the day, we got to a point where Camron decided, this is taking too long. You're trying to play games with me, this, that, and the third. And a lot of people in my comments are equating Camron's life to their life. Camron not sitting around waiting on these things like they're making it. Yo, Cam did his part, da-da-da. Cameron is a multi-millionaire just like J. Cole. He's not making no money off this verse. Camron really want the interview. He really want the interview. The interview's worth way more than the verse. The music gonna come and go. The interview gonna be forever. J. Cole not willing to do either, apparently, and he's jerking them around. Now, what I'm going to tell you happens in the game more often than you think. A lot of people do not get those verses that they want, that they think they're supposed to get. It happens, gang. It happens. Now, you're the public. Now you've been made privy to the one time where somebody said, enough is enough, and I'm going to sue. I've never heard of Khaled suing Drake for a verse. I've never heard of Dr. Dre suing Rakim for a verse. No one has ever done this. And I'm stripping this down to the bare minimum. It's over a verse. Because if he would have got the verse, there would have been no lawsuit. So we're not going to start changing it into money. You guys are moving the goalposts. He owes him money. He should pay his money. J. Cole should pay him the $500,000. First of all, I told you he's on the publishing. BMI would already pay Camron. Camron's name is in the publishing, so he's already getting checks. So he said he wants to be a co-owner of the song. It's petty. He wants to be a co-owner of the song now. Okay, that's different. He wants ownership, which he should already have. He should already have his name in the ownership, but he wants it where, okay, I get a cut of everything. I get to say whether the song goes on commercials, this, that, and the third. He wants a lot more from this song, right? But that only came up when he didn't get his verse. If you don't get the verse, if you get the verse, everything changes, and that's my issue. So I want to go, like, I want to take some time and go through these comments, and I know a lot of you people, first of all, a lot of people don't really understand the culture like they say, okay? I'm just going to be honest. I'm not trying to offend you, but a lot of people look at things as money related, right? A lot of people look at things through, this is all business. The culture is not all business. The culture does a lot of things on the strength. The culture does a lot of things, handshake and show, just be honorable. The culture don't take you to court to make you uphold your honor. Okay? I need y'all to understand $500,000 is not a lot of money for J. Cole. J. Cole could pull it out of his pocket and just hand it to Cam. That is not a lot of money. This is a principle. Cam is supposedly allegedly suing on principle. A lot of people in the comments are making this about money. It's not about money. Because if it was about money, Cam would have said, I need XYZ for this verse. And it damn sure wouldn't have been no $500,000. It wouldn't have paid $500,000 for no verse. And he wouldn't have gave you points on the record. All right? So this is about hip-hop. So when you're going to tell me this is a hip-hop issue, but then you say he should be able to sue another rapper because he didn't get a verse, I'm looking at you sideways. And I got that in my comments. Challz, I'm looking at you sideways. You must have been paying attention to me because I ain't never changed up. I've always said suing is dumb. I've always said rappers don't sue other rappers over verses. I've always said that when Kendrick got sued, Kendrick in essence got sued for what he said. When Drake made the lawsuit against Kendrick, I said it's dumb. And I do not bend, I do not change. I don't flip the pieces around because it's somebody else. Everybody in my comments is making this about this has nothing to do with money because Cam only wanted a verse. If J. Cole would have gave him a scoopity poop verse, there's your verse. Cam would have ate it and ran with it and been happy to get it. And let's just be honest, how much money you really gonna make off that song like that anyway? It's only gonna do a certain amount. I'm talking about the verse that J. Cole gives him. If J. Cole don't promote it, this, that, and the third, it's just a regular ass song out there that comes out. Right? But it would have been the equivalent of what he asked for. It would. What if he puts the song out and it does nothing? Right? A lot of you in my comments, Joe, he owes him some money. He owes him this money. He need to give his money. It was never about money because the song could come out in dog. It could flop. Right? The song could do nothing. There's no guarantees with none of these songs. Nothing. A J. Cole verse doesn't guarantee this big wad of money. I'm sure Grippy didn't do that well. I'm sure it did okay enough for whoever the artist name is. He's probably amazed with it, but Grippy tanked like in a day. So a J. Cole verse don't automatically assume you're going to get $500,000. So everybody in my comments, they're equating this to money. He owes him money. He did his verse and he owes him money. The thing was not about money, gang. I'm just going to be honest. If you want to unsubscribe, there's a button at the bottom that says unsubscribe. It is what it is. I'm not going to ever pander on no goofy shit. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not going to sit up here and crash out on J. Cole. I got 4 or 5 videos crashing out on J. Cole, yelling and screaming at J. Cole. I'm not going to sit here and crash out on J. Cole over this. I already did that. Screamed at J. Cole till my head hurt. People in my comments calling me Neanderthal. You got mad at me for that. J. Cole was trying to apologize. He moved on. That was one of the other times that people got so mad at me. J. Cole did the right thing. He's a grown man. This is a grown up. Y'all got to make your mind up, gang. Just going to be honest. You motherfuckers was on my ass when I was crashing out on J. Cole. When he quit that battle, I went crazy. I crashed out on J. Cole for months. And you guys were in my comments acting like I was a caveman. You love to see black people fighting. He's trying to be the bigger man. He's the more mature of the two. I don't know if y'all remember that. So I took some lumps for dissing J. Cole. So I don't have no problem with getting on J. Cole over this hip-hop shit. J. Cole did a bad hip-hop decision when he pulled back and canceled that. He shot those shots. I talked about this in length. He shot those shots and realized when the culture came back and said, this ain't it, Chief. J. Cole, in that sense, realized this record ain't good. I'm going to apologize and remove it because I don't want to go any further because K-Dot going to make a good record and it's going to ruin me even more. So he bowed out, and a lot of you applauded him bowing out. And a lot of you went after Euphoria and all that shit came out. Remember you guys are writing? J. Cole was the smart one. J. Cole is on an island somewhere. J. Cole knew what he was doing. Remember all that shit? And now you're backing Camron. Right? Now you're randomly backing Camron. And I'm not saying nothing good, bad, or indifferent about Camron, but this is lame to sue another rapper because he didn't get you the verse in time. Okay? Now, I'm going to go a step even further. If we're really going to do a really good record, right? If you knew that before this battle, Kendrick and Cole were working on an album, which they said they were, and then things got a little squirrely and weird, and the album somehow would never see the light of day. But if they said, let's say the battle never happened, and these two dudes are working on the album, and they said, we're going to release that album in 2028. You motherfuckers would just sit there and fucking wait. You would be like, I can't wait till 2028. So let's imagine that you would wait for that, but now Camron saying you took too long. And I'm going to reiterate, I'm not here to defend J. Cole. I'm just telling you, this rap shit don't move like that. I'm not defending J. Cole by no stretch of the imagination. He's wrong. He's not being 100. This is trash. He's violating the culture as well. But what I'm saying is this: if it take longer than you can wait, then you got to keep waiting. You don't go in the courtroom. That's it. A lot of you guys are looking at this as if you're the guy on the other end of the coin. It's not you, gang. You're not a millionaire that walks around with a bag with 100 grand in it like Camron does. It's not your fight. You're not on the same level. Right? Remember when Camron put homeboy out the studio, the fighter, the boxer, Adrian Bronner? This dude had a little knapsack, a man purse, and he started pulling out racks of 10 grand a piece. He stacked, I think, 3 or 4 shits out of his little man purse and zipped it back up. So he took out 30 grand, had to have another 70 in that bitch, at least, right? And handed Adrian Bronner that and said, I'm going to pay you for your time. Have a good day, sir. So their problems are not your problems. So him suing for 500 grand ain't the same as you. So you're trying to look at it from your perspective and not from what it really is. This is grown man stuff at this point. These are rich nigga problems. And these dudes don't do things on a level of 500K. That's going to cost them that just to do the lawsuit. Just to have the really good lawyers that he's going to need, it's going to be very expensive. Right? This is a publicity stunt. And a bad one for me because now it's making it look like you can sue people in hip hop. Be honest, before this battle, J. Cole was looked at as one of the biggest hip hoppers in this game ever. You guys were okay with saying he's in the big 3. Remember that? So now you want to an admitted hustler, right? Gangster rapper. You're going to tell him it's okay to sue let's just call it what it is, a pure-hearted hip-hop purist backpacker, sue him for a verse. This dude is mad, emotional, he's emo, he's all over the place. He changes his mind like the wind, right? He's going through some real shit, whether we want to clown him or not. He's going through some real shit. And you're going to tell me it's okay for this guy that's all about money, all about the bread, to sue him for a verse. That's what you guys are trying to tell me. This is what you really trying to tell me. In hip-hop, it doesn't matter who it is. If you owe me a verse, I'm going to sue you. That's where we going. Then somebody was in my comments talking about, well, Boozy did the same thing to Rod Wave. Well, Boozy's another money hungry. Listen, I don't have no problem with Boozy, but let's call it what it is. Boozy is not the culture either. Boozy's a rapper that does literally everything for money. Everything. Boozy does Vlad TV. He does everything for $1. He's not going nowhere if it ain't some money involved. And that, to me, is not the culture. So when your argument begins and ends with it's money, you lost me already. We're not talking about money. We're talking about the culture. Right? That's why the culture's all fucked up now, because everybody's talking about money. So what I'm talking about is when I tap you and say, bro, let's exchange verses, that's the culture talking. I'm going to exchange a verse with you and you do a verse with me. Boom, bet. Peace, my G, I got you. If you don't do the verse, that's telling me you ain't want to fuck with me. You bullshitted me and you lied. So now I know what it is. I gave you my verse. You ate off my verse. You did this, down the third. Your honor is in question. Your integrity is in question. I can't sue that integrity out of you. Because right now, J. Cole could give him the $500 right out of his pocket, right? $500,000 out of his pocket right now. Now, okay? Did he just get his integrity? No, he didn't get his integrity. You can't pay for that shit. And you guys are making it like, well, he should pay him. He got to pay him. You can't. At this point, this is deeper than money. Camron is suing for an amount that he doesn't even need. He's suing for a case that he has no merit because it's his word against J. Cole. J. Cole could say, I never said these things. And that's why you need a contract. Cam tried to finesse it where he's going to be able to say, yo, I got this Cole verse. I threw him a verse. The verses ain't equal. They're not on the same level. Let's just be honest. Who you think verse gonna go first? If I get a verse right now, if I do a song with Camron or I do a different song with J. Cole and I put them both out, which song gonna go further? They're not comparable. They're not even close. Okay? Camron really trying. He's batting above his average. He's finessing. It's a come up. That's why he's mad. In his mind, he's laughing like, yo, I'm about to get a verse from Cole. As much as we want to say, it ain't that many people that get Cole verses. Let's just be honest. Yeah, he got a couple, he got some features, but it ain't everybody get a verse. No, it don't work like that. So Camron was about to finesse a J. Cole verse before he even had cast. Then when he got the podcast, he's like, oh shit, I could get an interview. Why would he switch it? Why would he say, okay, if you don't give me the verse, just come do the interview on the podcast? He's trying to use them. And what I'm telling you is I'm not here. I got to say this 100 times. I'm not here to defend J. Cole. But what I'm telling you is Cam try to finesse this thing out of them. Their verses aren't equal. They're not on the same playing field. They don't even mesh on the record. They don't make sense. So Cam was trying to finesse himself something greater than his worth. He didn't get it, and now he's going to court. Okay? That's not hip-hop. You motherfucker can write whatever you want in the comments. That ain't hip-hop. You're talking about business. And if we're going to talk business, let's talk business. Where's the contract? What's the dollar amount you asked for your verse? Oh, you didn't ask for a dollar amount for your verse? Then what was supposed to be your payment? Oh, you supposed to get a verse back? When was you supposed to do the verse? Oh, there was no set time on the verse? Then what are we talking about? Make it make sense. Camron is establishing a time limit for this verse. Right? You would say, Challz, he's dubbing him, he's ghosting him, da-da-da. Well, guess what? It happens all the time. People give you a number, and then they stop answering. The end. Charge it to the game. You gave him a verse 4 years ago. He used the verse 2 years later. 2 years later, you still ain't get your verse. Well, goony google, whoop-de-doo. We're not going to court. We're not dressing up. We're not sitting in there because the money you asking for is silly, and he could get that shit to you without even blinking. So it's another reason you're doing this, and I already know the reason. It's content. Just like when Dame Dash did the fake lawsuit on you. Dame Dash did a fake lawsuit on Camron and got big publishing. Got everybody talking about Dame Dash. Dame Dash was in the zeitgeist, and that's what Bass is doing. I mean, that's what Camron is doing, the same exact thing. And Camron learned it from 50 Cent. Right? So no, I'm not going to bend up. I'm not going to fold and be like, yo, Cam's standing on business. No, he's not. It's Google somebody over a rap verse. Now, everything you write in them comments, you could say whatever, but you're not going to tell me that you can sue over a rap verse that you didn't get. Right? On the strength, right? You're not going to tell me that. It ain't going to fly. It don't work. Little ass Challz with the Adidas shirt, the Adidas sweatsuit ain't gonna buy it. from 1983. Lil ass Challz ain't trying to hear that shit. He gonna be like, B, you can't get the verse back? Well, shit. What, you think you could go to court for that? That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. Ain't this crazy? He want to go to court over a rap verse. Right? Listen, you don't sue over rap verses, gang. It is what it is. Pamela said, I'm suing Andre 3000 because I want a verse. It's going to get crazy. It's going to get crazy when they start suing. Yo, I was in a nightclub in 2003, and bro looked me dead in my eyes, said, I got you with a verse. I need it. I need that verse. You know what I mean? People say they're going to be on people's album and don't get the verse back when they got a verse from you. See, what's happening right now, Cole is learning a lesson. Some people ain't about all the games and all the shit that people do in the culture, right? Camron really want what you told him you're going to give him. Well, at the end of the day, Camron going to have to figure it out another way, because suing him in real world, in business, oh yeah, that's perfect. Let's take it to litigation. Let's have a judge settle this. But for the culture, I guarantee you, them streets is divided right now. They're looking like, yo, Camron look crazy. Another lawsuit, rapper doing another lawsuit. It looked crazy. It looked real crazy. And I know a lot of people trying to make it dead ass. They're gonna make it like, yo, yeah, this is just a business move gone wrong. It's bad business on both their hands. It's bad business on both sides. So it's nobody that did good business. J. Cole did bad business. Camron did bad business. But a lot of you guys don't like J. Cole more than you don't like Camron. So now you've chosen a side, and now you've decided that Camron is right and J. Cole is wrong. J. Cole is wrong. But Camron wrong too for suing another rapper artist. You don't do that shit. Not over a verse you didn't get. You never put a dollar amount on the song Ready 24. I'm gonna read some of the comments from when I put the video up last night, right? Dudes went Goonie Google, gang. They went and had a lot to say. Just like now in these comments, there's a lot to say, but I want to talk about the comments from last night. I had let me see. A lot of people agreed with me. I'm just gonna be honest. A lot of people agreed, but there were a lot that didn't. Let me see. I'm seeing all the ones that agreed. Hold up. I don't know if niggas went back and deleted this shit. Okay. I guess this is where all the agree. Okay, here we go. Keenan Mason said, nah, this is different. Cole snaked Cam. Right? I wrote, Cole didn't give him the verse back. It happens every day, B. Y'all just hate Cole, but keep it hip-hop. This is lame. Hinder Sonic. I tried to put it up so y'all could see it. It just wasn't matching up. I was going to scroll and show y'all the other thing. It just didn't work. I ain't like how it looks, so I'm not going to do it. But Hinder's son, CNC, this is on the other video that I got. The Keep the Same Energy. He said, stupid take. Two totally different situations. That was a short one. That was a very short one. And I wrote, not to me, hip hop has rules. We don't walk in the court over verses not being delivered. Shit is greedy, not organic. Hip hop is not corporate and Cam is corporate. That's why the verse never came. Cole is trash too for how he's moving, but in hip hop, we don't get the law involved, period. This is not that serious, because if it was Cam, he should have had a contract and we wouldn't be having this conversation. Now, in extreme situations, yeah, you get the law involved. Like when Eazy-E felt that Suge Knight allegedly strong-armed him out of his half of out of his portion of Death Row. I mean, of Ruthless Death Row Records. When they say that Suge Knight accosted Eazy-E and at gunpoint or knife point or whatever, allegedly forced Eazy-E to sign his paperwork. Yeah, you get the law involved, right? That's some grown man shit. This ain't that. This is not that. This is not for big money on the table, for long-lasting contract. This is for one record and one verse. This ain't years worth of work that's going to be stolen from you. Let me continue. It's a lot of people who agree with me. I don't know what's going on. I keep seeing all the ones that are agreeing with me. Okay, here we go. DC Young and 30. Salute to DC Young and 30. He from where I'm from, DC.
I watch all your videos and agree with everything you say, but not this. This is nowhere near the same as Drake lawsuit. See, a lot of people, and I did, it's not, I'm not gonna say it's a mistake, but I did start the video saying I got to keep the same energy for Camron as I did for Drake. People want to say they're not the same. The details are not the same, but the sentiment is the same. They both took their grievances about rap to court. That's exactly the same to me. You took your grievances of hip hop. This not business because you did a verse for a verse. That's not business. That's hip hop. That's on the strength. Yo, money, good looking out. That's what that is. I don't care how you dice and slice it. If he would have got his verse, he would have ran off on his way. So it ain't about money. It's give me my verse and I'm good. He's making it about money now. So you guys are trying to make it about money now. It ain't about money. This is on the strength, 1985. Let me continue. All right, East 32nd. I guess East 32nd might be out of Harlem somewhere. Dead as I'm not sure. But he said, do you know how many rappers have been left homeless and hungry because people did them bad in the industry? Let me continue. Let me get some water. He said, now Cam's not going to go broke, but this move will show the up-and-coming rappers, writers, and producers what they need to do. Move with a business mind and be compensated properly. That's beautiful. That's beautiful for up-and-coming rappers. Yes. Move with a business mind. You're going to say, Charles, he shouldn't leave money on the table. He need every dollar, give him his paper, da-da-da. I'm going to say this again. The agreement was not for money. I need you guys to understand that. Had he gave Camron the verse, Camron wouldn't be counting how much money Ready made. The agreement was never for money, and that's what you guys don't understand. Cam is not standing up for money. He's standing up for the verse that he didn't get. I need that. I need to keep saying that because you guys keep coming in my comments talking about standing up for the paper you're owed. If he was owed paper, he would have put a contract out saying my verses cost $100,000 or whatever. He didn't do that. They did verse for a verse on the strength. Therefore, it's not a money deal. And I'm going to keep saying that. Let me continue. This lawsuit is not because of a rap battle. This is about him. This is from V689. Salute to V689 for even comment. It's not being paid for a verse, if I'm not mistaken. Now, if Cam decides to do it this way, it will be, if Cam decides to do it his way, it will be involved in the streets, and now he has way more to lose, my opinion. Cam ain't going to do nothing to J. Cole in the streets. That would be the dumbest thing to ever do. To have something happen to J. Cole over a verse, that's dumb. Cam would never do that. So people keep saying, what if you take it to the streets? What if you crash out? He's never going to crash out. Because you're not going to crash out on J. Cole, and it makes no sense. So let's stop with the crashing out. But end of the day, it said the lawsuit is not because of a rap battle. It's still a lawsuit, though. You had to sit down with those lawyers and have meetings, draw paperwork, tell them exactly what your grievances is. You had to tell them the whole story. You have to go have them go file that. It is a lawsuit, right? It doesn't matter because it's a lawsuit. Now you're saying, if he does it his way, no, he said he's not being paid for a verse, if I'm not mistaken. Now, the only caveat in this, if it comes out that Cam did ask for money and J. Cole just ignored him and never paid him, I got people in my comments, yo, people at Dreamville weren't getting paid. We know that for a fact. So that's different, gang. Right? If it comes out that Cam had a dollar amount on his verse, then I ain't got shit to say. Right? If Cam has a dollar amount on his verse, J. Cole took the verse, never paid him that. That's different. And then Cam started haggling to get okay, just give me another verse. That's not what Cam wrote in the lawsuit. That's not what Cam wrote in the lawsuit. He didn't say, well, my verses cost 30 grand. And I told him that. So I dropped the verse. He never paid. He ran out the back. He never gave me the money. And every time I saw him, he's like, yeah, homie, little homie. He tried to little bro me, never paid me. That's not what Cam is saying in the lawsuit. Cam is saying, we did a handshake deal, that verse for a verse. So I'm taking it, Cam, at his word. Let me continue. Oh, some people were talking about how this is about just because Cole It's Cole, right? I'm telling you, a lot of people agree with me. I'm just gonna be honest. Damn, it's too many people agreeing with me. Hold on. It's a lot of it was a lot of hating this bitch. Let me get hold on. What the fuck? Niggas no deleted their comments. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so Sloan said J. Cole did 2 recent interviews in 2025. He did 1 interview for ESPN a couple days ago talking about basketball and basketball only. So that comment is to say, why can't you go on? It is what it is with Camron and Mace. First of all, he don't want to. Right? And the lawsuit itself says that Camron offered that. Right? We don't know if J. Cole said, I'll do it. We don't know that. Everybody's tagging up J. Cole saying, why you ain't going there? Why you just ain't going to do the pop? We don't know if he ever said he would go. All right? Let me continue. A lot of people writing Camron being corny for a while. But let me see. All right, so here we go. Salute to Ski X International. Ski, salute to you. I appreciate the comment. He said, I'm disappointed in you. He meaning me. Right? You meaning me meaning you. I'm disappointed in you on this one, gang. You too mature to not see how this is worlds apart. You don't always got to involve Drake. 50 Cent, Hov, and others have been suing over business. So let me do my best to unpack what Skeet X is saying. He says, first of all, I'm too mature to not see the difference between Drake and Camron's lawsuits, right? They're worlds apart. And I'm going to tell you, I'm so mature that I see that they are exactly the same because they're suing over some rap shit. Let's get to that, right? Let's get to that on some zip with the drip. Let's get to that. They're suing over some rap shit. And I'm disappointed at a lot of you other YouTubers for not calling Cam out on this. I'm just going to be honest. Right? Because it's real easy to just say Camron got the right to do this. I disagree, homeboy. Right? Like back in the day on Hollywood Shuffle. He said, I disagree. I think Camron, this is lame to be suing over some hip hop. And I'll take the arrows and bullets to say it because I'm taking them every day anyway. I'm always standing on hip hop. I get it from the Drake fans. I get it from the Cole fans who don't like me talking about Cole. I get it every single day. I don't care. But at the end of the day, this ain't got nothing to do with my maturity, right? It got everything to do with they're the same to me because they both lawsuits over rap shit, right? It says you don't always got to involve Drake. Drake really the first person to sue over rap words. He's the first one to do that. So yes, I do got to involve him. He's the first one to put this shit in motion, and here come Camron right behind him, suing over a rap verse. Only difference is he didn't get his verse that he wanted. If he would have got it, he would have been fine. We're talking about the same thing. This is hip hop on the strength, homie. Money grip. Right? I appreciate the comment, though. Black Curl said Harlem going outside. All right, so Vision TV said, you can't choose the favor someone should owe you. Never do a favor with expectations of receiving a return. I agree with that. Salute to Dale, man. Dale, that's my guy. Dale, me and Dale do live music together just on third. Dale said Camron said on the Breakfast Club interview, there is no point putting out music. He said it a few weeks ago. So what is the verse for? I just wanted to throw that in there because Camron himself said there's no point to putting out his music, but he's desperately trying to get this verse and he's suing. You guys got to know what's going on, gang. Before you stand up for Camron, you got to understand what he's already said. He's already said the music game is trash. There's no money in it. He do podcasts. He makes millions. He doesn't need the music business. So why are you suing J. Cole? Ask yourself. He's suing J. Cole for the publicity and the content that's going to come from it. He's in the zeitgeist right now. He's trending on Twitter. Gang, you got to understand this shit. Please, just understand. That's all I ask. Let me continue. Felix C. said, we don't know Cole's side of the story, but with that said, this is a terrible take, right? A deal is a deal. This is what Felix said. A deal is a deal. I love Cole, but you can't defend him if he isn't being honorable and keeping his word. Cole would have had to pay for that verse otherwise. Well, I don't know if he would have had to pay for it because the nigga gave it to him for free. right? And a lot of these rappers just do the verses and figure it out later. Or they don't take payment at all, like I said earlier. And if he would have had to pay for it, there would have been paperwork of what Cam charges for verses. Cam just told you he don't make no money off this shit. So how much would he really charge knowing it's a dead industry? He would have gave Camron 50 grand and left it at that. Cameron's talking 500,000 because the song has been streamed a lot. He's guesstimating what it made. So Felix, salute to Felix. A deal is a deal, and J. Cole is wrong for not giving him his verse. But on some hip-hop shit, you don't sue the man. You get mad, you stomp around your compound, especially when you're rich. If it's me or something, it's different. But even me, not me, you can't say me, because I'm not suing for the verse anyway. I'm gonna be like, this dude Cole fake shit. I don't even want your bullshit fake ass verse. I want a real verse, gang. I don't want a verse that I had to coerce you for 4 years and take you to court. I don't want that verse no more. I don't want, if you're ghosting me, I'm calling you 100 times. I don't want the verse. I don't want nothing to do with you. I don't want to bring your name up. I'm for the culture, gang. I'm different. At that point, you saying fuck you, Challz. I'm not gonna run to court and say fuck you back. I'm gonna move on with my life, make my verses for my own fucking project, and keep it pushing. But nobody's thinking about that. They think about the money that they think Camron is gonna lose. When meantime, he ain't losing shit. This shit is for publicity. He gonna make more money off suing him than he gonna make not suing him. And he don't care. Let me see what else got on. Tony Zaniga said, J. Cole is a coward. He moving like a snake, bro. Pay the man. 100 with the 100 emoji and the prayer hands. Paying what, Tony? Paying what? The verse? We right back where we started. J. Cole doesn't owe him any money. Camron is assigning a monetary amount to it because he didn't get the verse. Neither one of the verses had monetary amounts on them. They're just verses. I hate to burst the bubble. J. Cole don't owe him any money, and Camron's not going to get any money. Now, J. Cole could settle. J. Cole could write him right. J. Cole could hit it with a Cashapp right now. But it's more to this than just the money. It's a lot of hands involved. It's publishing involved. A lot of people going to be like, wait a goddamn minute. You ain't just going to hand over my goddamn publishing. Like, there's a lot of things involved. They probably got samples, all the kind of stuff. So it's not that simple to just be like, pay him. Because what they're going to do is rewind to the original deal. They're going to say, what was the original deal? The original deal was I do a verse, and then in turn, you do a verse. So what does that cost? Nothing. So then, Camron, I cannot award you money. He could do the verse tomorrow. Now, the court can mandate he do the verse. That's a different animal. I don't want the trash ass verse at this point. But you never agreed for money, gang. That's what I keep trying to tell y'all. They never agreed for money. Now, he could try to assign money to it and let the judge figure it out. He could say it's worth $500,000. Well, the judge gonna say, well, how much was the verse worth before you didn't get your verse in time? Because you did the verse 4 years ago. When was it worth this? When was it worth $500,000? When he put it out on Mike Delete later, and it makes like make this make sense, Camron. So you're literally just suing over the verse. Let me continue. Like I said, it's a lot of people agreeing. What if they're doing it for publicity? This is Skull Microwave. What if they're doing it for publicity and they both agreeing to settle at EOD because of the attention it brings eyes to them both? Camron feature on the Fall Off forthcoming with the J. Cole appearance on Camron's podcast. It could literally be all that too. It could be all that. Let me see. It's nothing about the bitch move Cam doing. What's going on in the comments? I ain't been seeing the comments, gang. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm just gonna be. I see y'all going at it in the comments. I don't know what y'all got going on. Just keep it civil. All right. Let me see. It's a lot of people saying that they agree. Let me see. We expect someone like Drake to sue. I also expect someone who leans heavily into their paid in full Alpo persona to also tell the law to get back. Okay. D Joyce says that she agreed. Hold on, I'm trying to get to. All right, so here we go. Ace Mechanics. 302. Salute the Ace Mechanics in the building. He said, it ain't even the same situation. They had a deal and Cole ain't hold up his end. And Cam reach out. This is a bad take. Is it? So I said, you can't sue for verses in hip hop, no matter the reason, unless the dude stole it. Cam gave him the verse and got tired of waiting for his back. We got to understand where we're at, right? We got to understand where we're at. Cam is just tired of waiting for his verse. Now, I already told you in the beginning of the episode, Camron could just put a cease and desist on the Ready song and move and go from there. He could say cease and desist until I get that money. This is the part that nobody's understanding. He can just cease and desist that record until they pay him. End of story. He made a lawsuit because he didn't get the verse. You didn't have to do a lawsuit. You could have did a cease and desist on the record. You could have did that last year when he dropped it. You're waiting and waiting and waiting, hoping to get that interview so you can plaster that up and make a bunch of clips and shorts and this, that, and the third and get some viral moments. That's why he waited this long. He's tired of waiting. Now he want to sue. He skipped some steps. He could have sent them this litigation before it went to the court. Do y'all know that Diddy got the paperwork before Cassie sued him? Diddy declined to respond, and then they dropped the paperwork on him. He declined to pay. So people submit the paperwork to the lawyers before it even goes to court. So the only thing you could say at this point is J. Cole refused to pay, and then he went and put the paperwork in. That would mean J. Cole is disputing this. That's the part nobody's talking about. Everybody's comments on this is based on Camron's account. You've already called J. Cole a snake, a coward, everything in these comments. You don't know what is going on. You just know what Camron said happened. And you took Camron's side because you don't like J. Cole. Okay? The simple fact of the matter is, I'm going to stand in the bullets, gang. Right? The tweeters and the leaders, right? I'm going to stand in the bullets, gang. I'm going to say what I got to say. It is what it is. Micah Red 30. Salute to Micah Red 30. Oh, this one is good. This one's real good. Cam cleared his song for J. Cole. He did clear that song. Cam was expecting something in return that was going to be worth more. For J. Cole to use, and gave him a verse, and in return, Cole was supposed to either do the show or give him the verse. Camron cooked up that show thing after the fact. I need y'all to understand. They had a verse for a verse deal. Camron didn't even have a podcast yet. The song is 2 years old. J. Cole dropped the song when he entered the battle with Kendrick. He dropped the song on Magdalene later. Camron was already the show. I think he had started it or it was already popping. Camron was like, well, shit. Don't look like I'm getting that verse. Let's bring him in on the podcast. We can talk about the battle, all this, da. This is the great time. So Camron threw that podcast stuff in there after the fact. Cole made money off that agreement. If he's owed for his song and services, then he should get his money or show. It's been 2 years. Cole has done 3 podcasts that I know of since the agreement and has done a verse for someone else. Sue him, Cam. Okay? So Cam did approve that. He released that song for Cole. Cole did, in fact, make money off that song. He did. And if Camron is owed for his song and services, then he should get his money or his show. Now, end of the day, like I said, there is nothing in writing for money. Micah said it's been 2 years. Cole has done 3 podcasts. Not a podcast talking about that battle. And not a podcast going to sit there and get all in his business and have him there for 2 hours talking about this, that, and the third. Right? He did. What's his name? Bob Myers, I think his name. This guy does sports. This guy's harmless. He sat J. Cole down and talked about basketball. So, end of the day, Cam could do anything he want. He could sue anybody he want. But to me, when we're suing for the culture, that's when I'm gonna step in and say that's corny. Just like I said when Drake did it. How crazy would I look switching up now? How crazy would I look switching up talking about, well, Drake did it, but that was for a battle. But Cam trying to get his paper. It's corny, it's corny. Whether it's corny, it's corny. It doesn't matter. Cam is not trying to get his paper. Cam is trying to get his verse or his interview. The paper only came when Camron realized he wasn't going to get that verse. Now it's a paper, a dollar amount attached. Big Gizmo 80 said, there's more to it though. Cole wasn't supposed to release the track until he either delivered the verse or appeared on the show. He did neither and still released the song. I said, I get it. Cole was wrong in almost every way, but suing is not how this works. Larry D said, Cam got M's in the bank, but sometimes it's about the principle. Cam not trying to be on the other end of an easy lick, LMAO. And I'm going to be honest, gang. I have to be 100% honest. When I first heard the story, I did not form this opinion. I'm going to be honest. When you first hear the story, your visceral reaction is, Cole played him. He need to give his money back. My first visceral reaction was, damn, Cole foul as shit. Cam need to get his money back. That's my first visceral reaction. As I cleared out the smoke of thinking that Cam just got burnt, which he did get burnt. After I cleared out the smoke and got my thinking capped on, I watched a couple other people that didn't really help me just come to this decision, right? I watched other people to get a more grasp on the situation, this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, I have to take a stand on anything that I talk about. I don't click record on the video until I know the stand that I'm going to take. So I said, Charles, what's your stance? You can't just give the story. You're not fucking Walter Cronkite. We're just going to say the story and say, good night, everybody. You need to pick a side of where you're going to stand at. And my side, when I thought about it, I said, when I peel back the layers, it ain't setting right with me. It ain't setting right with me. It ain't setting right in my stomach that a rapper's going to court. I never liked it, never will. I never liked it, never will. You could give me 50 case scenarios and they all could be valid. And each one of them, it make my stomach like, damn. Right? Sugar Hill Gang going to court against Sylvia Rome. Shit, I don't like it, but they get their money. You know what I'm saying? I could go on and on. I don't like going to court with him. I don't like mixing it. I accept it when it's a label burning an artist, da-da-da. Other than that, and even then, I hate that. The label didn't pay me. They was doing that shit for years. It'd be a guy, his album clearly flopped because it's trash. And it would be like, the label ain't pay me. The label ain't promote me. That shit was running rampant in the 90s. So I take that. We're going to sue with a grain of salt. So you're looking at the guy who don't almost no reason to sue. Right? And even you're going to be like, well, Rapping Forte sued Drake because he stole his lyrics. And I even cringed. Then I was like, shit, he got a point. Okay, fuck it. I let it slide. I was like, you know what? Rapping Forte probably not making the money that he should be making. Go ahead, get your money off, Drake. Get your fucking money. You're going to say, Charles, what the fuck is wrong with you? He stole his lyrics. Yes, he stole his lyrics. So that's why, but I still had a knot in my stomach when I heard that a rapper was suing a rapper. But then I was like, you know what? He's suing because he got his lyrics stolen. And he's not the only one that had his lyrics stolen, right? So, okay, that's an extreme circumstance. But you got to understand, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't back up this suing shit lightly. I don't back it up lightly, gang. Dr. Dre was suing for his money. Whoever it was, whatever. It gotta really, really be egregious for me to approve of you being a big bone rapper walking into a courtroom talking about, yo, put on a suit in front of a judge talking about anything. Unless your ass Gary go to jail. So it's just me. I'm old school, gang. I got old school sensibilities. And you're gonna say, Charles, that don't make no sense. If a guy owe you money, well, sometimes a guy really don't owe you money. right? What's your boy ASAP Relly? I don't know if ASAP Rocky really owed him what he said he owed him. So sometimes they're not being honest. Okay? So I don't think that every time somebody suit up and go to court that they right. Let me check what's going on in these comments. I know that rapping for a tape thing gonna throw some people. I know they're gonna be like, yo, what you mean? Robin Forte deserves that money. Salute to Robin Forte. Yeah, London says Sylvia dirty. Sylvia, listen, Sylvia did some stuff. That Sugar Hill, them Sugar Hill days. Sugar Hill days was crazy. FTY said Cam is extremely team Drake, so it checks out. Vicky said it's deeper than rap. MP said, if you beat me in a battle, I can sue you, then it's different. It's just weird, man. What Darius say? Suing is not how this works. Rappers don't do this ish. When has anyone sued because someone didn't give a person a damn verse? That's all I'm saying, gang. I'm gonna get out of here. I don't need to beat this horse no more. I don't need to beat it no more. Nasir said Cam is the bubble bath rapper too. Hey, listen, I call Drake the bubble bath rapper. Drake done a lot to earn that title, though. I don't think Drake did any one thing to earn that title. So I can't slap a bubble bath rapper on Cam this easily. Drake is a hands down undisputed bubble bath rapper, but I'm not gonna do that to Cam just yet. Let me see if there's any more comments that I want to talk about. Suing makes things awkward as fuck. That's what Rainy Feather said. So Drake God, I love Drake God. Drake God always rocking in the comments and supporting the channel. Great Drake God said, how hard is it to go pod with Killer and Murder though? You're right, Dre. It shouldn't be that hard. It shouldn't be that hard. But maybe he's not feeling the energy of the show. And maybe he don't want to do nobody's show. Nobody gonna press Kendrick to do nobody's show. Nobody gonna say, why can't Doc come do a show? Only the Drake fans gonna say that kind of goofy shit. No one's telling Kendrick where to go interview or not. So it's kind of disingenuous to say, well, why can't he go sit down with them? Because Killer's telling them to? There's a lot of rappers that ended whole relationships with people because someone told them, try to tell them. Like Jay-Z had that whole story about Robert De Niro. They was next door neighbors, and Robert De Niro came in one day. He's like, you're gonna go to this gala and you're gonna do this, do it. And Jay was like, bro, hold up, respect my time, respect me. You're not just going to, we cool and we all that. We're not just going to tell me I'm going to a gala. It was like an auction. You're gonna, I need you to do, they're gonna auction off. You're like, hold up, bro. Like, you're not just gonna walk in here and tell me where I'm gonna be and what I'm gonna do. So Jay-Z and Robert De Niro relationship ended because they was really good friends, and it ended because he tried to walk in and just tell him where he's gonna be. Grown men don't like that. So maybe J. Cole, nobody's taking J. Cole in consideration. They're like, why ain't you just do the verse yet? Why you ain't going to podcast yet? It's like, I don't want to go on the fucking podcast. And I ain't like none of the beats he wanted to do the song on. Maybe he ain't like none of the beats. Nobody's talking about this shit, gang. Nobody's talking about that. What if all the records Cam is trying to get him on his trash? I want to do a whole show about that. I want the people that got a problem with this. What if every song was trash that Killer's trying to do? And then I'm gonna get out of here. I need to know that if Camron is sending him the most garbage concepts and the most trashiest beats, do he still got to do the verse? Let me know. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna put that out as a question. I'm gonna put that out as a poll somewhere. That's it, man. I'm about to get out of here, man. I had enough talking about this shit. Football might already be on. I got to set up my fantasy team. Quickie Sticky in the building. He said they both Sneaky Pete. That is a fact. Sneaky Pete got my ass back in the day. I fucked around and did business with a guy named Sneaky Pete, and that motherfucker Sneaky Pete in my ass. Dead ass. The bubble bath t-shirt, that's coming. Bubble bath t-shirt's coming. Sylvia said Shiva. Listen, man, I'm getting out of here, gang. I hope y'all have a great night. I hope y'all had a good time with this podcast. And I know there were a lot of comments that I did not read. because people was in the comments saying whatever they think. I'm gonna double back around and look at those comments that was in the chat and just see what y'all was actually saying in the chat. But listen, that's what I'm standing on. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm doing. And if it's about the guys, you already know what I'm gonna say. It should not be a surprise. It should not be anything different. When you see me talking about this, I'm always gonna line up with what the culture is feeling, and that's the end of that story, gang. Listen, I appreciate you guys. Oh, hold on, let me put this up here. I ain't even do this, gang. I'm just gonna be honest. I got the hoodies, I got the shirts. That site has all of my merch. I'm just gonna be honest. We got the hats, buttons. I got the what show as well. So both of them, that's all on that site right there. If you screenshot that or whatever, tap in, rock with your boy if you want to support the channel. The merch right there. The Cashapp is CLBMG. All right. Also, every Wednesday night we go live on the What Show. We just went live last night. It was a great episode. We even started singing Shy. Da 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 do da do do da 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 do da do. We had a great time last night, gang. So tap in next Wednesday night. I might start going live every Thursday night, right? The games come on. I'm playing tonight. But listen, I appreciate you guys watching, right? And Sims in the building. I see you. I see you, Darius. I see a lot of MPE. I see you, LaFrost, Yoga. Just listen, I appreciate everybody rocking it. Nasir, Vicky. It was a great night, gang. So listen, I'm out of here. Let me know what you think in the comments on the replay.